Okay, we've started. Is it working is the question. Because we're looking at the stream and we don't know if it's on or not on. I think it's...
Yep, it's on.
It's on, it's working. Okay, cool. Every stream starts the same with some question marks about whether or not the stream is working, but it appears to be working. Is that right?
It is. It's working.
I don't see it over there.
That's okay. Don't worry about that.
Okay.
Everything's cool.
Everything's cool. So today we're going to be talking about bitters, red Italian aperitifs, and we're going to taste some, and we're going to do a little blindfolded tasting to see if I can pick one out from the others while blindfolded. That should be fun. Yeah, if you show up in the chat and say hi and let us know what your favorites are and whatnot, that would be super cool. Let's see. To start with, I was just going to say, they call these, I wanted to mention about Amaros and bitters, or Amari and bitters. In Italian, Amaro means bitter, and that's sort of the name they give to Amari, the bittered, sweet herbal liqueurs that they make.
Such as Averna.
Or Ramazzotti, or Etna, Zucca. I have a million.
Yeah.
Some people will put these, like Campari, into an Amaro category, but it's a little bit... it's not exactly correct. Like, they are bitter and they are herbal, and so you'd think they'd all be in the same category, but for whatever reason, I think it's just cultural. Like in Italy, these would be called bitters.
Campari is called a bitter,
which is a little weird because like Amaro means bitter, but they will use the English word bitter in Italy in Italian to mean things like this.
The category in which Campari resides.
Yes, yeah. The category in which Campari resides. And like I say, I think it's just kind of, there's no like hard rules about what falls into what category. So it's always a little bit of a guessing game in terms of what belongs where.
Sometimes I think in the Instagram post you gave about this, you call this an aperitif.
Yes, I think my understanding is Campari and whatnots, bitters, would normally be used before dinner, not after, and things like Fernet would be more for after dinner.
Okay, so the category bitters is traditionally like a before dinner light beverage.
I mean, that's my understanding. These days, if you talk to a brand rep or somebody from the company, they're going to say, "Oh no, enjoy it all at any time.
Sure.
Always enjoy it.
Well,
enjoy it by itself. Enjoy it on the rocks. Enjoy it with soda. Enjoy it straight. Enjoy it with a lemon twist. Put it in a cocktail." They'll tell you to drink it
every way.
In every way possible.
And in truth, Pete, there are no rules.
There's no rules. Anyway, sweet.
So we have a few of these here, right?
Oh, and we've got a viewer too.
Sweet.
Thank the Lord.
Don't you worry about that. Okay, so we have a few of these here.
We do. We have a few of these here. I don't have we've got 6, and there are a lot more that a person could have.
But let's go ahead and show the folks what
we
have.
We have a quick introduction to make.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do it.
All right.
All right, so let's meet our participants. First up is Team Italy. They are the veterans of this contest. They basically invented the category. Starting off with Campari, made in Milan. Campari owns a lot of things. It's 24%, and it's been made since 1860. Campari owns Aperol, which started out in Padua. It's 22%, and it's been made since 1919. You should all be familiar with Aperol already. Now for Team America, these are the new kids on the block. we'll start with Brutto Americano. Brutto Americano means ugly American in Italian. It's been invented in Alameda, California by St. George Spirits. 24%. It came out in 2016. Americano is from Seattle, Washington, made by Fast Penny Spirits. It's 30% ABV and just came out in 2020. Now, team other places, I guess. First up is Gran Classico. Gran Classico was invented in Turin in 1864. Production moved to Switzerland in 1925 and later got taken over by Tempus Fugit Spirits. Granada Valle is from Hidalgo, Mexico, from a place called Royal Valle. It's a pomegranate liqueur, 32%. Just came out 2017. And there you have it. Those are our participants. Back to me.
Okay, so those are our participants. There are, of course, as I said, we have 6 here. Seemed like a pretty good number, but there are a bunch of others that might fall into this category. Luxardo makes one, a bitter. They also make a Blanco bitter, so an uncolored one version of it. There's Capoletti makes one that's wine based that a lot of people will substitute for Campari and things. There's one called Select that I think you can only get in Italy, or at least you can't get here in America. What else? Like a lot of places, if they make an Amaro, they might make one of these. Moletti makes one called Moletti 1870. I've had that in the past. That's really good. I think Tuve makes one. There's a Peychaud's one that I've tried that it's not. I don't love it. But anyway, there's a bunch.
And you'll know if they're part of this category if they call it a bitter or if they call it a bitter.
If they call it a bitter, like Campari says bitter on the bottle. It says bitter right at the bottom.
Yeah.
Like Luxardo bitter that's what it's called.
Okay.
But it's one of those, like I said, it's one of those things you just sort of, you'll know it when you see it.
Okay.
Like Real Americano doesn't say that it's a bitter on it.
Mhm.
But I mean, that's what it is.
I mean, I actually don't know that I've tasted all of these together, and I'm actually really interested to see if they do all feel like they're part of a category. So
I think I mean, the one thing I will say is it's possible Aperol. I mean, Aperol might be like the least bitter one, and maybe like falls outside the category in that it isn't that bitter. But it's definitely like an aperitif.
It says
aperitivo on it.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Okay. Let's decide what
There
order we
aren't
want to
any
taste
rules.
them in.
Right. What order should we taste them in? I was thinking least bitter to most bitter, but I mean, we're not going to know exactly how bitter all of them are until we taste them.
Okay.
Well, I know Aperol is the least bitter, and I'm pretty sure Gran Classico is probably next.
All right, let's start with those
And
two.
then, and probably then Americano, but
After that,
after that, who knows?
Okay.
So we're going to start with Aperol
cool.
because it's sort of the least in the category one. It's only 22% alcohol, which is not a lot. Or I'm sorry, 11% alcohol, 22 proof, which is very low.
I'm just checking the chat, and
Yeah.
you know, Katie's here. Hi, Katie.
Oh, my sister Katie. Yeah, hi.
Angry
Hey,
Cocktail says they found some good versions of these, good local versions of these.
Yes.
So yes, local
Andrew.
versions.
Andrew Angry Cocktails is from Australia and famously hates Campari, if I'm not mistaken. And so, you know, he's probably finding local versions that he actually does like. It's sort of fruity. It's sort of a grapefruity
Grapefruit.
kind of vibe.
It's very sweet.
It's sweet. It's
They're
not
all
super high
sweet.
proof. It is a little bit bitter though.
There's the bitter.
But
And
it isn't
grapefruits
like-
are bitter.
It doesn't like punch you in the face bitter.
It's grapefruit bitter.
Yeah, grapefruits, especially grapefruit peels, have a very bitter flavor.
We have very little Aperol in the house.
I'm almost out of Aperol. Usually when if I run out of a bottle, I often will try to resist replacing it unless absolutely necessary, just to like save room and make room for other bottles. But Aperol is a hard one because
There's certain drinks that need
certain
it.
drinks that really Aperol is great in, like Paper Plane, for example.
Isn't it in the Division Bell too?
And Division Bell. So it's like very light, it's almost, but it's got a very thin, like it's very thin mouthfeel.
Okay.
Part of what I'm doing is trying to solidify in my mind what these are like, so that when I taste them blindfolded later,
You'll get
I'll
them
be
right.
like, oh right, this is a thin, sort of lightly fruity one.
All right. Well, we're gonna do Grand Classico next, but let's
Yeah,
have a
let's
little
have a
water.
Right, and I think I mentioned in the package, Aperol is owned and made by Campari, and it started out in Padua, but I don't know. I think they might make it in Milan now. I think they might probably just put it in the same factory as Campari. That would just make a lot of sense.
A listener is suggesting that we keep your Aperol in the fridge because of the low ABV.
Yeah, so I don't do that. I only keep things in the fridge that are wine based. If it's wine based, it's gonna oxidize and possibly go bad, and you want to keep it in the fridge and drink it quickly. But if it's neutral spirit based, no matter it's 11% neutral spirit, it's not gonna. I don't think it's gonna go bad. Nothing bad will happen to it.
On the other hand, maybe we play fast and loose with those rules too. It's possible.
Yeah, I'm not. I don't care about the rules very much at all. You want to try first?
Grand Classico. It's a golden color.
Yeah, so Grand Classico, they don't dye it. They don't use any red dyes or anything. So it's just the color that it is from the ingredients, from the herbs and whatnot.
Oh goodness, this is way more bitter.
Yeah, that's right. I mean,
way more bitter.
Aperol, like I said, is on the way under the bitterness spectrum. This one is what did we decide? 28%. So double the percentage, more than double.
That's delicious.
Yeah, it's very syrupy, right? It's got a very different mouthfeel to Aperol.
And it has none of those grapefruit notes.
I always get Grand Classico always gives me a lot of
orange,
sort of blueberry. It's got a very berry kind of flavor.
Huh.
I don't know if you're familiar with this one. There's one called Pasubio, which is another Cappelletti made one that's wine based that goes in the fridge, and it literally has like mountain blueberries in it, and it's kind of, I don't know, it's kind of got that vibe to me a little bit. Grand Classico is great. This one started. This one I think I said in the package, but it's an original recipe from Italy, from I think it was Turin. I put all the stuff in the package because I knew I'd forget what it was when it came time to speak live. But it moved to Switzerland. Someone took the recipe from Turin and started making it in Switzerland, and then Tempus Fugit took over making it, and now it's like this big thing. Tempus Fugit makes a lot of like old cocktail ingredients, so they're recreating ingredients that maybe you can't get anymore in a quality way, hopefully. So they make like a cream of cocoa and a coffee liqueur and a banana liqueur and a creme de violette, stuff like that. Stuff that maybe is a little more obscure. But Grand Classico, I mean, I feel like it's intended to be in this category.
It's bitter. I mean, let's keep tasting the category and see. I feel like our next one probably ought to be.
I was thinking this one.
Americano.
So we're going to taste both these team members, the American team. Or no, I'm wrong. I'm sorry. I misspoke.
Yep.
We're going to the American team is what I mean.
Yeah.
Americano. This one is also sort of maybe not in the category either. I'm kind of fudging the categories, but it is a very dark red.
Okay.
Like if you look at Campari, it's a very sort of bright, vibrant red, and this is more of a dark thing. But they put a lot of crazy stuff in this. I was looking online. They list a bunch of the botanicals and whatnot that they put in, and includes cocoa nibs and black truffles and a bunch of other stuff from around Washington area and whatnot. Anyway, it's pretty good, and I'm a booster. I'm a fan. Speaking of local Campari substitutes.
So the question is this Amaro or is it bitter?
Right. Oh man, it is.
This is an Amaro.
It's chocolatey.
This isn't
It's
a bitter.
dark.
This is an Amaro.
Susan's saying it's Amaro. I mean,
It's an Amaro.
they're sort of intending it. I mean, Amaro is sort of in the name.
It's minty. It tastes
a little bit
tastes,
minty. Is it minty?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's,
minty.
It's reminiscent of Fernet. This is an Amaro.
I don't know.
It's not a bitter.
Well, Susan spoke.
I
so,
spoke, but he's the expert.
I'm pushing the boundaries just so that we have an even number, but it's
Right.
good though.
It is delicious.
And I mean, and it is red.
Do they color it?
I don't know. They didn't say. I'm gonna guess no, but I don't know for sure.
But yeah, I think that's an Amaro.
Yeah. So we're getting closer to the real category though.
Okay.
Because
These last three for sure.
these last two for sure, because Bruto Americano from Alameda is intentionally made to be, like a Campari, like to be in the category. And also Granada Valle, I think is how you pronounce it, from Mexico, was also intentionally made to be in the category.
Okay, well let's have
But wait, how bitter
Okay,
is
good.
this? I'm gonna say it's not
super bitter.
super bitter. Okay, good. What should we do next? Let's do
The-
Gran Cosco.
I think we
or
should
let's
do-
Bruto next.
I was just saying do Campari next.
Oh yeah, what about Campari?
Yeah, don't forget the Campari.
I forgot Campari. So we're in the middle here. We're gonna do the
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 category standard. Yeah.
the bitter.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said before, like
Beautiful.
super duper red.
Why? Well,
Mm.
we'll get to that later. Happy Valentine's Day, babe.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
Cheers. It's funny, like people complain about it and say how bitter it is, but I feel like over time, after doing this hobby for a while and drinking a lot of weird stuff, it's not that bitter. It's not certainly not the most bitter thing I've ever had.
It has an interesting vegetal quality.
It's the gentian, I'm guessing.
Oh, okay. Is
Guessing it's
it
gentian.
bittered with gentian?
Yes.
Only gentian?
No, I doubt it.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
gentian's in so many
yeah,
things.
it's got, yes,
Gentian is like
that grassy
everywhere.
vegetal bitter.
it's dry, right?
Mhm, drying,
Like
It's
there's
the
sugar,
driest
there's
of
sugar in
anything.
it, but it's like the Gran Classico.
not dry.
It feels thick. This is like syrupy thick in
Mhm.
the sweetness, and this is
It's sweet.
but the mouthfeel is so much thinner. It's so
it-
much like
dries your
drier,
mouth out.
drying on your mouth, and that sort of is the point of aperitifs, aperitivos. The whole idea is dries out your mouth, gets your mouth salivating to sort of counteract the drying of the gentian on your mouth or whatever, and those salivas going in your mouth are indicating to your body that it's time to eat. And that's the whole theory behind aperitifs in the first place. So
Spine
that
wants
all-
to put the Americano over ice cream. I've just told him in the chat that that's a good idea.
Oh, sure.
And I think we've used Amari on ice cream before.
Maybe we
Done
put
that.
Fernet on ice cream, didn't we?
And we've made like chocolate sauce for ice cream with a little, we use bitters in that.
We put Angostura in the chocolate sauce.
Yeah, that was fun.
That's delicious.
Mm.
Everyone should do that.
And when you made those exotic citrus bitters, we put those in the chocolate sauce too.
We did? Oh, yeah. Good for us.
Okay, so that was
Okay,
Campari.
so that's Campari.
Very drying,
Very drying.
gentian bitter.
Very, very like thin,
Mhm. The
bright.
thin, thick thing, I don't know, but if it works for you.
Well, it's all about mouthfeel.
Mhm.
Okay, so
Someone's freaking out that we put Fernet on ice cream. Give it a try. It's not bad.
yeah.
All right,
Put it
Bruto
on,
next.
Put it on your toothpaste.
Fernet toothpaste, a no-brainer. Someone should definitely do
Fernet
that.
toothpaste is one of our business ideas that we've never. You want to try
Bother
it first?
with. I'm going to try the Bruto first.
Sure, why not?
Okay.
We're good. We're
Mm.
not alternating strictly, but we're taking turns.
This tastes a lot more like an Amaro to me.
Ooh, she's
I'm doing it again.
Doing it again. She's challenging the premise.
That's
Smells
interesting.
so dry.
This is a cockroachy one. I know
That's-
no one knows what I mean by that.
Maybe you should explain.
I can't. It's Amaro Sibilla flavor.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what that cockroachy flavor is, but it's a dark, bitter, musty. I mean, I grew up in a place with a lot of cockroaches, and they were dark and they
It's-
were musty.
The way I think of it when you say that is, it's like you imagine what a cockroach would taste like if you ground it up,
Hmm.
you know, and like
The
and
idea of
extracted the
cockroaches.
flavor. It's like a dry, sort of dirty,
It is dry.
earthy kind of brown flavor,
Mhm.
if that makes sense. I mean, I kind of want to go back and just
Yeah, I really
have
think
some Campari next to it.
I think you should. They're both on the dry side. Like I might try the Gran Classico just to see.
See if you can see what I mean about the mouthfeel.
Oh my God, they're so different. It's wild.
I mean, I feel like Bruto
What if you do the Americano
It's-
and the Bruto?
I feel like Bruto is more bitter than Campari.
Mm-hmm.
Sort of more, a little bit. It's like a similar type of bitterness. It's like a little bit more intense somehow. So anyway, I would say Bruto Americano is absolutely in the category. I mean, I've made Negronis with it, and it's delicious.
It is more bitter than the Americano.
Now this last one is very interesting. This just showed up in the state, and it only got started in, I think I said 2017.
Mhm.
It's 32% alcohol. 28. I forgot to mention what all these were. This is 24. Yeah, 28, 32. So they're all, they're not super high. What's Campari? Campari's 24, I think. This is good television. 24. But something I learned about Granada Violet. So Granada in Spanish was going to mean pomegranate, which is similar to the French word, which is like grenade or grenade or something.
Because they look like a little grenade.
Well, so the
You mean
opposite.
it's the other way around.
So it's the other way around. So the grenades, and I guess whenever they invented hand grenades, looked like little pomegranates, and so it started getting called grenades by the French. I don't know who invented the hand grenade, but it may have been the French because of this whole thing. So grenadine comes from the fact that it's pomegranate, and grenadine is, or grenade is the French word for pomegranate.
Okay.
Anyway, similar word in Spanish. This is a pomegranate-based liqueur. And like I read about it, and they definitely intended it to be like a Campari type thing,
Okay.
I think you're going to find this one pretty cockroachy as well.
Okay.
And like the other thing I learned about this, actually kind of interesting, is that they put this out at, I think it was 50% alcohol, and to test, and they got some feedback from bartenders that it was like too intense, it was too much, it was taking over cocktails, and so they watered it down to 32, and now that's what they've got it at now, and it's
This is really interesting.
pretty good. Yeah.
It's a lot closer to Campari than Bruto is. It's mouth drying, and it's closer to the mouth drying of a Campari.
Whoa.
It's wild.
It's wild. I think the first time I tasted it, I wasn't sure why. I didn't really understand the pomegranate part, but tasting it now, it's like it's sour. It's not only bitter, it's also sour, if that makes sense.
It is. It's not quite the cockroachy thing, but yeah, it's pretty, but it's very bitter.
It's very bitter.
It's very bitter.
Kind of sneaks up on you.
Mm-hmm.
Like some bitter things, like smash you in the face.
No,
like
this is
like
a slow, bitter burn.
like the Malort. Like you would taste it, it's like, what is this? And you're like, bleh. It's just like an explosion of bitter in the back. But this is sort of like sneaks up on you. And whereas like Aperol is like grapefruity, this is more sour, not a bitter fruit, but like
and it's not hitting you in the head
tart,
as like
a tart flavor as well as a bitter
a
flavor.
little, yeah, a little bit. It's not like pound you over the head with the tartness, but I think
Fascinating.
well, these are all really different, Pete. I think this blind taste test is going to be a cakewalk.
Oh yeah, I mean it might be a cakewalk. We'll see.
I will
Maybe we
say
should blindfold
that
you instead.
no thanks. I guess I'd try it. I don't know. Yes, vanilla ice cream. If you're going to put any of these over ice cream, I would do the Americano, and I would definitely use vanilla ice cream.
Mm.
So we were talking a little bit about the. Sorry, you had a tasting note.
I was just thinking that this now tastes like vanilla to me, and I was thinking
The Grand
how
Classico.
it's so weird how you taste one thing and then you move to another. It's like the contrast of what you just tasted
We're not.
has such a huge impact on what your flavor.
We gave ourselves nothing to cleanse palates with. We're just water. I mean, it's not.
We need a cracker or
We
something.
need a cracker. We don't have a cracker.
That's okay.
Okay. So one of the things
Okay.
we're talking about the category.
Yeah.
One of the characteristics of the category, I think, is that they're red.
Well, that's my understanding.
Okay. So let's talk a little bit about the red.
Right.
This kind of hit me in an interest of mine. So we've prepared a little explanation and a little historical context for the red color in Campari.
Right.
Should
Should we
we-
run that now?
Let's run that now.
Cool. Yeah, this is pretty good stuff.
Why is Campari red? Or rather, how? What makes it red? Originally, Campari was colored by cochineal insects. Why would someone use an insect to color a food? Upon further investigation, I have learned that in fact scale insects were among the most powerful and most sought after dyes used around the world for millennia. Medieval Europe had access to only a few different red dye sources. One of them was madder, which is a plant, but it produces an inconsistent dye that's really more orangey than red. You could get a brilliant vermilion red out of these scale insects. Scale insects are little insects about the size of a lentil that are parasitic on plants, and when dried and ground produce a powder that has a high enough concentration of an acid that when mixed with water produces a red dye. Interestingly, Kermes, the word Kermes actually means little worm and gives us the word carmine, which refers to the red color that is produced by these dyes. Another word with a similar meaning, vermilion, also means little worm, and for the same reason. So some of the words we have for red actually are words that mean little worm, when worm meaning insect. So medieval Europe, it had these two sources of red. It had madder, which was kind of crappy and muddy looking, and it had these scale insects, which were very rare and produced a brilliant red, but had to be used in great quantity in order to make anything very red. As a result, they were extremely expensive and used only infrequently and only for the very wealthy, which is why red cloth was associated with nobility. Meanwhile, in Mexico, in Oaxaca, for millennia, indigenous people had been domesticating cochineal, another scale insect that is parasitic on the prickly pear, the nopal. This insect, also dried and ground to a powder, produces a much more powerful dye, something like 26 more times powerful than oak Kermes or Armenian red. When Cortez and the Spanish invaded Mexico and sought to colonize and exploit it, they discovered after a few decades that one of the most valuable exports available to them was in fact cochineal. This was a tribute good that had been in place as a tribute good prior to their arrival, and they started to send it back to Spain with great results. It was a very valuable export, and they closely guarded what it was and where it came from. Many people tried to get into the Spanish colonies to steal some of it and cultivate it on their own, and they pretty much failed for many centuries, and the Spanish had basically a monopoly on the color red in Europe for a long time. They increased exports as fast as they could. Over time, Guatemala became a producer, Peru became a producer, and eventually someone succeeded in getting it cultivated in the Canary Islands. This was in the 19th century. So by the mid-1800s, if you wanted to make something red, you were probably doing it with cochineal, including Campari. So when Campari came about in the 1860s, cochineal was the obvious thing to use to color it red. Why'd they decide to color it red? I don't know. To all the little scale insects of the world and their brilliant red dye, I say thank you.
Are we back?
Yep, we're back, Pete.
We're back. Okay, I'm blindfolded. We're hoping that the chat will help you decide which to go first.
Nope,
I'm
I'm not
blind.
getting any help from the chat,
Oh,
so I'm gonna go ahead and pick one and pour it.
Wait, before we do that, we could talk a little bit more about redness.
We could. Let's talk about red and see if the chat gives me an
Yeah,
idea.
let's delay just for
Okay.
a little bit.
So
like for example, Campari was the original that used cochineal to color it, and they stopped doing that.
2006. Because vegans.
Do we know? I think it's because of
I think
vegans.
because vegans.
I know. I remember that like Guinness stopped filtering Guinness with fish bladders or something because of vegans.
Yeah, I think vegans had something to do with it.
I think so too. It might have been just also cheaper to use artificial color or something.
I mean, but then again, artificial colors have a
Cause-
bad rap because they cause
Cancer and stuff.
so-
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of things are colored red. A
Yeah.
lot of things are colored red with cochineal. Like if you see carmine or carminic acid as an ingredient on a food, it's being colored red with cochineal.
Yes.
That's
Like-
a
like
totally,
Jell-O or something.
or like
Not
ice
Jell-O.
cream or yogurt. A lot of pink colored yogurts and ice creams are colored with cochineal.
Interesting.
Yep.
Anyway, I don't know about Aperol, and I don't think the Americano is colored, but I know for a fact that the Valette is made with Oaxacan cochineals, specifically from Mexico.
That's where they're from.
And the Brugge Americano also says on the label that it's colored with cochineal. I think there was some kind of backlash about Campari not doing it. So people are like, "Meh, we're going to do it." You know?
Well, I haven't gotten a suggestion from anybody about what to start with, so you're not looking. I'm going to pour you something.
Okay,
And we're just going to tell the folks what it is.
you're going to put it up on the table.
Put
Then.
it up on the table.
Maybe I wonder if anyone, what anyone thinks of our new setup.
I don't know. I mean, it worked for this, I think. So here's bottle number 1. Pete, I'm
Mhm.
going to hand it to you.
I'm going to guess what it is.
You're going to guess what it is. And I'm going to put your guess in front of the bottle. Meanwhile, if someone wants to suggest a bottle number 2, I can get
Smells-
that ready.
It smells bitter. This is hard.
It's going to be hard. You don't have to guess yet. You could say some choices, and we can give you some choices to work with. And I'm pouring the second one. I've made a decision. Plus there's a
I'm going to say that's Grand Classico.
what you're tasting right now.
Mm-hmm.
So there's your guess
I think so.
right there. Okay,
Yeah, will you take this?
I'll take that. I'm going to give you the second one.
Okay. Should I have a little?
Yeah,
Sip-
want
sip
some
of
water
water?
first? Yeah, have some water. Here's some water.
This is a somewhat strange experience.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
By the way, chat, you're using different glasses, so I can't tell what's what from the glassware.
And I'm pouring them like he doesn't know what I'm pouring them in.
I think that's. Gosh, this is hard. I think that's Bruto. I bet I'm getting these all wrong.
I mean, you want to think about this too some more, or what? I mean, what do you want to do? You
No,
wanna-
let's just move on.
Okay, here's some
let's
water.
add some water. Let's just have a routine here. They're also dry. I'm going to be very hungry after this, and excited to have dinner with all the aperitivos I've been drinking. It's really hard to get anything off the nose for some reason.
Yeah, I don't feel like any of these have much in the way of a scent.
They do, but it's like they're all pretty similarly scented. Hmm. I'm gonna say that's Campari.
Okay. I forgot to pour the next one, but
That's okay.
I'm
We'll
just-
just vamp a little bit.
Yeah.
So,
I know what I want to do next.
Anyway,
How's this going?
how's this going? I feel like I've gotten nothing right so far.
Well, did you get some
It's
water
so-
already?
It just felt so obvious when I was tasting them earlier.
I know.
like, what would be what?
Did you get some water?
No.
Okay, I need to hand you the water.
Sure, might as well.
Okay.
Now with your eyes closed, it's like really difficult to tease out what was what, you know?
I mean, that's the fascinating thing about tasting things blind, isn't it?
It is.
All right, here's number 4.
We used to do blind tasting sometimes at the library where they wouldn't tell you what spirit it was, nothing about it. Like you could see it or whatever and make guesses, but like, is it brandy? Is it bourbon? Is it like it was weirdly difficult. Like we drank a lot of different stuff,
Mm-hmm.
but even like blind tasting like that, they give you three things and you're like, what is it? And you're like, God, is it brandy? And you're like, no, it's bourbon. Like you would be so far wrong. It was strange,
It's weird how much we use our eyes and our expectations.
Exactly. This one smells fruitier. I almost think this is Aperol already. This is Aperol.
Well, that was fast.
I'm confident that's Aperol.
All right.
It's so much weaker. It's so much thinner. It smelled like grapefruits. If I'm wrong about that,
You'll eat your hat?
I'll be shocked.
Okay, what's wrong with this
As
bottle?
a practice, I don't eat hats, but I understand.
Oh boy, I have a little problem with the pouring spout on this one. That might be a hint. I don't know.
It has a pouring spout. It's cough medicine. This one smells.
I can pour the last one right now.
I think I know what this one is too. This is a Maracano. I think. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I wonder if my process of elimination.
It's the water.
I wonder if my. I don't know. I guess by process of elimination, this should be the valet.
That's the name that's left.
That's the name that's left.
That's the little card I have left.
Oh, it smells very cockroachy. It's possible I'm talking myself into these though. Granada was the last one we tried. I wonder if you would put this one last. He thought it was. I'm not sure.
I mean, you're allowed to change your mind about the
I
prior
am.
guesses.
It's hard to remember what's gone on before.
I mean, they're all here, and if you want to try one of them again, what do you think that is? Like, remove all other expectations.
I mean, it is kind of sour. I'm gonna go with Valet. Granada Valet or Valet. The thing about that stuff is it's Spanish, but there's a guy named Valet or Valier or whatever from France who came to Mexico and started this distillery. And so, like, do you pronounce his name like it's French or like it's Spanish or it's like how you would speak French if you were from Mexico? But we're speaking English. I don't know. Pronunciation's hard. It's a whole subject. All right. Should I take off the blindfold?
Are you ready to?
I don't think
You don't want to go back and
I
change
don't
your
think
mind about anything?
I don't think I'll go back.
Okay.
I think I'll just go with first impressions because
Because
otherwise,
what? Yeah, more
what am I
fun that
gonna
way.
do? Yeah.
All right.
Should I take it off?
Yeah, you were pretty wrong.
I was
Very wrong.
very wrong.
You got two of them right.
So bright. Did I get the Aperol right?
You got the Aperol right.
my
Here,
glasses.
I'll show you what you did.
Terrible.
You got the Aperol
Aperol
right.
correct.
You got the Campari right.
Oh, that's fun.
I'm pretty sure you got everything else
Oh,
wrong.
awesome. I thought this was Grand.
You
I
thought
said
the
Grand Classico first.
Right. You said the Americano was Grand Classico. You said the Grand
It
Classico
was Bruto.
was Bruto. You said the Bruto was Valette, and you said the Valette was Americano. It's crazy. How did this happen?
How did this happen?
I think it's you got off with like Americano is
Americano.
you thought it was Grand Classico.
I thought it tasted
mean, maybe-
fruity. It tasted berry-y.
Maybe I
to
gave
me.
them to you in a confusing order.
It's funny too because I didn't swap them. I got them all
No, you did a four-way like
four-way
round robin,
rotation.
Four-way rotation of error. I thought was really good. You thought the Valette was Bruto. I thought that was really interesting too because
Man. What did I think this was? Bruto. How odd. Because now tasting it, it's like, yeah. It's all I taste it now. I'm like, yeah, it's all berry and fruity.
Putting these two next to each other is hard, but
Interesting. Well, there you go, folks. Blind tastes are very difficult.
it was brave of you to do it on camera, Pete. So I want to salute you for that. Well done.
Thank you. Do you want to try?
You want to blindfold me now and see if I can do
Let me
it?
blindfold you, and we'll we'll
Sure.
do one. We'll one or two. What do you think?
Sure, let's do it. We got some time.
We got a little. How's the chat doing? Are we? Oh, David's here. Anne's here. Vino's here. Everybody's here. The gang's all here. This is terrific.
This blindfold is very effective.
It is. That's my handkerchief that has the all the Portland bike routes on it.
Okay, I don't know where any water is, and I need
Okay.
some water first.
Okay, let me find. Where's your water? You don't mind drinking my water?
I don't mind drinking your water.
We're married. She'll drink out of my water glass. That's
I will.
that's
That's
love.
love.
That's love.
Happy Valentine's Day, babe.
Oh, look how
I
sweet we
can't
are.
put this down. I'll drop it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. You're just gonna. I'm
Chat.
just gonna like.
Hey, does chat want to
the
suggest
chat
what I
didn't
should?
Suggest what you should drink, and there's a little bit of a lag, so you might just want to pick something.
Okay. Apparently, chat didn't chime in on what I should drink.
No, that was all me.
I wonder what would be the most confusing. I'm gonna do this one.
I don't remember what glasses I poured them in.
Gosh, I hope not. I don't think she'll remember. Hey, it's Bill Simmons. Bill Simmons here. Hi, Bill.
I think it's Grand Classico.
Yeah.
Huh.
Correct. We're gonna keep going till you get one wrong.
Okay, can I have some more water?
Yeah. It's possible Susan's palate is better than mine. I've often said so, but we disagree on that point.
Mine's gotten worse over the years, and yours has gotten better.
Let's try this one. That's this one, everybody. We're just gonna keep going till she gets one wrong.
Granado Valette.
Wow, you got a second one correct.
Woo!
Should I give her an easy one? An
Some
easy
more water.
one next?
Yeah.
Give her an easy one next. That'll stretch things out.
That could be misdirection. I don't know if I trust you.
Or am I misdirecting you by misdirecting you? Unmisdirecting
I mean, the problem
you?
is I remember what glass. I know what this is for the glass, actually.
Oh, really? Yeah. Oh, I'm sensible.
It's Aperol.
Yeah, it's Aperol.
But
That's
it's also
three
just
correct.
incredibly sweet.
Yeah, it's super
Okay.
sweet. Maybe doing a super sweet one will throw off her palate for the next one. Take this glass.
Okay.
Okay, we're gonna try this one. That's this one, folks.
The only one of the glass I remember was the Aperol, because it's like, I'm going to fool you by putting the thing we're out of in the biggest glass. Didn't work.
Aperol is incredibly easy to pick. That makes you wonder why that is also not in the category.
Okay, I know this is either Brutto or Americano, but I don't know which one.
Team America, you're saying?
Mm-hmm.
Team USA.
It's Americano.
Wow, you got that one right too. Well, we're
I
at
don't know, man. I don't know.
we're coming down to the last ones. So
Campari and Brutto. That's not going to be hard, I don't think.
I wouldn't think it would be.
When you're telling me that I'm getting them right as I go, which
I
is
know, it's a different-
increasing- Yeah.
It's a different regime. We're doing you know, we changed the rules in the middle of the game, but whatever.
It's the Brutto.
Now you'll never guess this one.
Well, you could fool me and give me something else. I get my water in between now.
Is she gonna get, folks? It's the last one.
Did you fool me or is this Campari?
Should be easy.
It's weird because it should just taste like Campari, but instead it's like all these other flavors are knocking around in my mouth. I don't know. If I had to guess this one on its own,
Yeah.
I don't know what I would say.
Oh, interesting.
It is bitter.
Mhm.
Okay, it's the Campari.
No, I finally fooled
you
you.
fooled me.
I gave you Grand Classico again.
That was the other option, and I should have said it.
Yeah.
All right.
Anyway, great job. So much better
Woo!
than me. You should have your own YouTube channel.
No.
That
That was fun.
That was fun. Hey, look at that. RLW.
Hey.
It's making a shrub. Everybody should make shrubs. Shrubs are great.
So easy.
You know, it's good. Shrub Campari.
Shrub strawberry.
Strawberry shrub
Campari
Campari
and gin.
And gin. Lots of drink.
Delicious.
We used to call that the, what do we used to call that?
Show them a clean wheel.
Yeah, show them a clean
It was
wheel.
our Tour de France.
Our Tour de
drink.
France drink. Okay. Well, what do we think?
I think that if we're done, babe, we're done. And if we only did a 45-minute live stream this time, it's okay.
I think it's okay to. Usually we do an hour, but there's no rules.
But we got it all done.
We got it all done. We had a fun tasting. We talked about all of our things. Is there anything I forgot to mention? I don't think so.
I feel like I have to taste the Campari now
Yeah,
just to see what I got
a little
wrong.
closure. Get some closure.
Yeah. I don't know why I let you fool me with that one.
Yeah, you knew better.
I knew better.
I wonder why that was so hard for me.
I don't know. I mean, you were under pressure. You were on camera. We're gonna be doing this all night, folks. We're gonna just blindfold Pete again and go one more time.
Yeah. Also, it's Valentine's Day.
Tomorrow.
Anyway,
Yeah.
cool. I guess we'll wrap it up. That was a little bit of a shorter one, but
That's okay.
that's okay. We're keeping it snappy.
I think
Leaving wanting more.
I think the answer is, I mean, how would you? All of these you can drink with club soda. Delicious.
Yes, I was gonna say the same actually.
Yeah.
Club soda on ice with a lemon twist is great.
Campari with an orange is classic.
Yeah.
Slice of orange, peel of orange.
I mean, any of these with some tweaking, you might be able to put in a Negroni.
I'm sure you could
Or
make it
Americano.
fine.
Americano is
Negroni.
just sweet vermouth, and Campari is Americano with
Mhm.
soda water.
Do you
Like,
have any of
do
these?
have any of these? I think. Like,
Mhm.
what if you did like
That would be a more intense, more.
more intense? But
More
what if you
intense
put
version.
what if you put like Topo Chico,
Mm,
topped it with like
mm,
Mexican mineral water?
that's pretty fun.
That'd be fun, right?
Yeah, Topo Chico and Granada Valette. Fancy.
I wonder if they make. There must be some Mexican vermouth.
There must be some Mexican vermouth.
I don't know. Does anyone? If anyone knows, let me know. Mexican vermouth. It's my new thing. I'm going to search it out. Okay, great. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for showing up.
Enjoy
Appreciate it.
your pre-dinner drink, whether it's Campari, Aperol, Valette, Bruto.
My mouth is very dry.
It will dry your mouth, but then you'll have dinner and everything will be fine.
Cool.
We'll see you next time.
Cheers.
We'll see you next time.